Hello, hello. Good evening. Good to see you all in the chat already. Let's see. I'm gonna switch over
Are you a Stein?
to this one. There you go. I've been working on the stream for about a few hours, and it still is a little gimmicky for me to make everything perfect, which is not a problem, of course. As you can see, we have been working a little bit on our layout and everything. So as you can see, we did all the logos and the over here, and as you can see, we made our own thumbnail. Woohoo! A question for you guys: did you hear the music under the video? Because I cannot hear the music when I put it on. So if you could just tell me if it worked, then I'm very happy. Okay, so Melvin told me it was very good. So, whew, that I already said in the chat that it's so good to play along with this stream and make sure that everything works out fine. Um, it's been a busy few days for me, even though it's my holiday. We've been working at the Krone here to get electricity done. My brother was here yesterday, and so we have a lot of electricity, like circuit points to set up the stream for next week. So for those watching already, next week we'll be doing a game at the same time as the stream, and then we can just switch from time to time. We'll start at uh, 19:30, so 7:30. It's better to say it like that. So we start at then, and we tell each other, okay, these are our armies we play. We're gonna play ninth edition, of course, because the day after that it's gonna be released, which we also have an unboxing video the next day. Yeah, 7:30. Thank you very much, Jared. So we're gonna do a live game. Then so at 8 we start as usual. We'll start the stream like the Friendly Fire Fridays with the talk show as we do right now. And then after that we'll just continue streaming our games. So then we you don't have all the deployment, which is kind of boring. Um, and then I think CJ will be here, and we don't know who the other player is yet, but I'll just be hosting the show, and we'll switch from commentary to players and everything. So it's gonna be getting used to, but it doesn't really matter for me. So let's see who's in the chat already. So I've seen Melvin, I've seen Gerard, I've seen Dusty Demons in the house already. Electrical longboard. That sounds dangerous. We have Bel Salai, and we have Sir Lenzoriot. Sir Lenzorlot. Sir Lenz Orlot. Okay, okay, funky name. So, um, uh, what will we be discussing today? Well, for those of you watching for the first time, I'm Martijn from the Alliance Open, and we host a lot of events in the Netherlands. We also host events in Germany, and we hope to do a lot of events in the future as well. And we are currently setting up, like as some of you may notice, a stream and a weekly show to accompany all the things that we do. So we organize events, and then we have the Alliance Armory where we design our own terrain. I have some laying around over here. We design our own ruins and stuff to make the best possible tournament terrain. Um, we design them specifically for tournaments. So with ninths coming up, we maybe need to revise our all the stuff that we do. So currently, what we are working on is a new set, and I'm going to show it to you later this night. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be discussing a few things. First of all, we're gonna see some painting competitions stuff from Into the Ninth. This is an online painting competition where you can win like Ultimate Fame, of course, and you'll also get we have our own billboards where we put our posters on, and that you can win a place on the final table where there's your model, like the best painted model from this painting competition, going to be in is going to be posted on there. So you have like yeah ultimate fame because it's going to be there every time that we play. So I've seen Melvin is working. Um, G Unit, I miss your entry, man. I mean, you can let it paint by my brother and then say it's yours. Nah, that's not gonna happen. So that's what we're gonna do. So the painting competition. Then we're gonna talk. I have an interview with Gerard about his win over our TTS qualifier event. We did a 5 week event for 40K, which was a qualifier for a super major. And Gerard actually won the tournament. So we're gonna have an interview with him and see what's what, why did he win, how did he win, and what did he think of a TTS league, like a tabletop simulator league, and how does he, what does he see for Grey Knights in ninth edition? Because we can talk all we want about 8th edition, but it's going to be history real soon. So, so that's what we're working on. So after that, we talk with Jared. We're gonna talk with Fabian and me. We are currently working on the Age of Sigmar rules pack for the Grand Tournament. We are, I think we're almost finished because, but it's a long document and we needed to revise a lot of stuff because of the new General Handbook. Missions have changed a lot. Some rules have changed. So we're gonna elaborate today on how the scoring will be because we had a lot of questions about that and we're gonna elaborate on it today. And then later on, we'll show you some work in progress on the Discord server that we have on other stuff. And of course, we're going to show you the work in progress for our new terrain set, which CJ is currently working on. I'm alone tonight, as you can see. Dick had to work or something. He had an appointment. CJ has his last day for work, and so he had like he's drunk already. So yeah, you know what I mean. I think my brother has is the kids, or he had something to do. So and Stefan had to work, so I'm alone. And Danny, of course, is in Hong Kong, which is actually going to the third lockdown. So yeah, he has like the most social contact he has is with us, his wife, and then with his studies. So giving if you send him a message that you think of him, and then I mean, uh, for me it's very annoying to see that he went on an adventure and the adventure didn't go as planned at all. I mean, adventure is supposed to be like a rocky road or a bumpy road, but this is extreme. So yeah, it happens. Um, First, what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about numbers. Last week we had our launch party for our 3 events in September, and now I want to give you the numbers, and they are actually yeah, we're flabbergasted again as usual, especially by the 40K numbers. So yeah. So that yeah, Danny also streams Command and Conquer, but so the numbers for the event for September. The Warhammer 40K No Surrender event is sold out. 64 tickets in less than 64 hours, which is extreme for this, considering everything that's going on. For us, that was a surprise. So if you still want to be on the 40K event, you can actually get on the reserve list. You'll be number 3 or 4, I guess. And if someone drops out, you actually have a chance to buy a ticket. Um, for those of you who hear about this for the first time, it's at the Van der Valk for the last time. We're working on. We don't know if it's going to be 1,750 points like it was last year because the games got smaller, the boards got smaller, the armies got smaller. So maybe we just don't go to 1,750 because the games will be like really short and you have 2 small armies. I don't know. So if if they would allow it, maybe we can go up later, but we're not going to decide anything right now. Rules pack is going to be out like 2 weeks after ninth drops because we have to do a little playtesting ourselves and see if we what board type we'll use. We'll probably go to the smaller board size because like everybody does, and we actually think that you need to adapt or die. So if you still get used to the big tables, you have a problem when you come to the small tables. So better you can better do it like at a small table and then grow later on. So for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar event, we already sold 21 tickets out of the 64, but that's 2 days, and I heard from a lot of guys they still want to know if they want to know the rules pack before they buy a ticket, which is absolutely fine, of course. Um, we're used to having um, like 40k people are crazy. Just I mean they're gonna press F5 on the day the tickets go out, and that won't happen with Age of Sigmar because it doesn't go that fast. So people are not like worried that the ticket was sold out. It will be sold out. And as it is of now, the London Grand Tournament is still going on. If the LGT goes through, there is an Age of Sigmar event as well. If the Age of Sigmar tournament gets cancelled, I want to tell all you Dutch guys and English guys, of course, be quick on your tickets because I can imagine that a lot of English players like, okay, well, it's next to the airport in Amsterdam, so hey ho, let's go, right? Or AO, let's go. I mean, that should be our slogan. Um, so 21 tickets out of the 64, and then the ninth age, which is already over 50%, already sold 38 tickets. 38 tickets out of the 64 tickets for the ninth age, which makes us very happy because we had to cancel the WTC, of course, since there will be too many nationalities and there's a big chance that there's going to be problems considering Corona. So that's why we said, okay, we're going to go like a Dutch tournament, like a single tournament instead of 2 days. And then last but not least, Warhammer 40k, the Alliance Open Super Major. We already sold 185 tickets out of the 256, and that's over 70%, by the way. And we have a few qualifiers, meaning that there's around 190 tickets sold, only 66-ish tickets left. And I think there is a chance that we'll actually sell out. I mean, how awesome would that be? We're currently going for 200, which we need only 10 more tickets or something. And we're going to do it on Facebook and on Instagram as well. But we're going to warn you, there's only 2 weeks left on the early bird tickets. On the 1st of August, the price will go up 10 euros. It's only 10 euros, but I mean, 10 euros is like 5 beer, right? I mean, I hear people say that. Okay, so we're gonna go to a small commercial break, and then after that we'll have Gerard's interview. So see you in a bit.
Are you as tired as me of needing this much space to store your wargaming terrain? Well, not anymore, because we bring you Ruins in a Box. This is a full 40k Warhammer table in a 9x9x9 box. Stores everything everywhere. What's your excuse? Is the stairs your number one enemy at home? Are you sick and tired of not even being able to bring your wargaming terrain to your friend's house? Is your wife about to leave you because you can't fit any more terrain in your house? Are your friends sick and tired of bumping into you everywhere you walk? Have you been struggling with trying to keep your workspace clean? Struggling to keep your gaming terrain in order? Well, this is the solution for you. This is a full 40k table ready for use at any time, and you can hide it anywhere, even from the wife. Your girlfriend will never be angry again when you put your wargaming terrain into the smallest box in the house. You will glide through the hallways. The stairs will be your number one new friend. The one solution to fix all your problems. Alliance Armory, billboards, amazing area terrain. Then of course you get our patent pending, amazing 8-piece, no 4, no 8-piece rune set, ladies and gentlemen. Is it allowed to be this cheap? Oh hell no. Why haven't you bought this yet? It's amazing! Call now to 0900 123 456 78910. Why? Because it's fucking 11 on the Richter scale, baby. Get yours now. If you haven't gotten one yet, you can order it now on our website, alliancearmory.net. You can get one for the price of one, two for the price of two. It's amazing!
Hmm. There we go. Gerard, how you doing, man?
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Chilling around?
Oh, give me a sec. Let's mute the stream because there's a delay on the stream and that's really annoying.
That's gonna be very annoying indeed.
Yeah. Now I'm hearing you in sync. That's better.
Okay, good. So how was the commercial? You already saw it, right?
I've already seen it, but yes, CJ is doing his best Telcel impression.
Yeah. Do you think he has talent to do this stuff?
He could use a little practice. Maybe he should try drunk next time. That would be even more hilarious.
Get him on LSD or get him on acid or something. You know,
Something stimulating would work. I mean, CJ's enthusiastic enough by himself, but if you get him on something more stimulating,
he actually he were they were already filming for about 7 hours or something when they made this stuff.
Mhm.
So you can imagine that it will be.
So he was already mad with exhaustion.
Yeah, yeah. I was there for like the first 4 hours, and I was like, okay, I need to get the hell out of here because this is getting very tiresome. Um, and he still kept going. I mean, you saw the tutorials; most of them were like recorded in one day. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, you guys have been doing a shit ton of work with the entire Alliance Open, and I know because I know most of you guys really close that this has been going on for a few years now, and it's really impressive. So
yeah, we
something to be
actually
proud of. You can
we,
pat yourself on the back.
thank you, thank you. So we had a run of 3 years around now. So the first grand tournament was like unofficial Alliance of Open's first event. Or maybe you can say like the Sound Dog was the first event. You were actually there. Uh,
I missed the Sound Dog one. I don't know why. I think it was during one of my holidays or something.
oh
I
yeah, that
recall
was
that I've
yeah.
only seen pictures. I wasn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't there. Yeah, yeah. Was like the first event in Holland for a very long time,
Yeah.
and we sold out in a day or so. So that was like the start off of what it is right now. And I think I think
Yeah.
what you said, we can be
At
proud. Yeah.
the tail end of seven, there was a definite lull in gaming interest, but the local community in organizing events in the Netherlands was pretty much dead as a doornail. And you guys saw an opportunity, jumped in it, and you done an awesome job.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We think that I mean, even after this time, like the Corona time, I think we actually can bounce back because we kept going and still had like, it's not like we only events are like our backbone, but we have a lot of stuff next to it, and we could actually improve on that. You hear
Yeah,
a lot of companies saying, okay, now we could do the things we normally said, okay, we can do that later, and all those companies do that right now. We had the same like opportunity.
yeah. Well, you've got a good working space, so you could prepare for the super major and keep growing your terrain. And I like all the other things you did, like launching the Patreon, having a Discord set up.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. I think the community is still steadily growing, and there's a lot of people getting used to what we show, because everybody needs to um, get used to everything that's new. Like, okay, there's a new stream. Okay, we have to get used to it. So, and we see that the
Yeah.
community still keeps going with us. So that's a good sign.
Well, evidently you're doing something right because your events keep growing and you keep selling them out or almost selling them out. So
Yeah.
your attendance keeps growing.
Yeah. But that
Evidently,
also happens
word of
when
mouth is also good.
we give away free tickets, right? And you won a free ticket for our super major. I mean,
Yes, well, about that, I did win a free ticket for my super major, but
yeah,
I already had a ticket for the super major.
yeah,
So I've graciously donated it to the guys from Tabletop Tactics, a well-known Warhammer 40K channel on YouTube and on their own website,
yeah.
with Lawrence and the B-Bone and Chef and all the other fun guys. Of
Well, that
course,
that's
with
amazing,
all the
man.
Corona things going on, they can't guarantee that they'll be coming, but they're definitely going to try if the circumstances permit it. So let's all pray that things go correctly and we don't have any second wave large infections, or I don't know, the UK shuts down or
Wouldn't it be
anything that can happen.
wouldn't it be like a good way, like, okay, if they cannot come because of Corona or something, that you say, okay, then you can do like a special giveaway prize or something. I mean, It's your
Yeah,
ticket now,
if
and
those guys, yeah, if those guys don't, I won't say they don't want to come, but if they're not able to come because they do want to come, but of course they can't guarantee it, then we'll need to think of some other worthy cause for somebody uh,
yeah,
who
or
I
maybe
can
you
give it
can
to.
just say that to them, like if you donate it to them, they can. We'll figure it out later. It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome. But congratulations
when we're
actually on the
closer to
win.
the actual event, we'll figure out what we do if these guys don't want it. Because I'd love
Yeah,
to see them again. I miss a lot of people. I used to see a lot of people from all over Europe and sometimes even in the US by going
yep,
through events. And of course, that's all been frozen. I went to LVO this year. Yay,
yeah.
T-shirt.
Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt.
And that was right before the entire insanity started. It's a really strange thing to think. Oh, I've seen these guys now, and suddenly everything stopped.
Yeah,
There were
yeah.
no more
Shit.
events. There was no team events. There was nothing to play.
No, yeah.
And
So
suddenly you're sitting at home, twiddling your thumbs,
yeah, I
nothing to do.
still think there's like the community still grew closer in a way because they had to improvise, and that usually brings out the best in people and not the worst. Um,
Yeah, well, that's why the TTS event really jumped and filled a hole for me. It's not like playing a real game. A real game still is better, in my opinion, and it's really fun. But TTS has its own benefits. It is quite a bit slower though, especially with my life rhythm. I can only start playing at about 9
yep.
at a regular work day, so it usually takes me 2 evenings to finish up a game.
Yeah, you cannot do
That's
a
a bit on
game
the
in three
annoying
hours,
side.
right?
So that was a bit annoying. That's a downside. On the other hand, it's also a bit clunkier when you're trying to place your model. So you have to talk a lot more through what you're doing. You're placing a
Yeah.
model saying, okay, this guy needs to be within 3 inches of that objective. I'm putting these guys here from deep strike. Obviously, they're on as close as they can be to 9 inches.
Yep.
Because I'm going to try and charge you. You need to be a lot more clear on your intent and communicate while playing. If you
So
do that,
you think that
then
actually
it's
maybe
really
has
good.
a positive influence on the future on physical events because people are more used to playing
Yeah.
with intent.
Well, it can never hurt to do that in your normal games as well. I try to do it myself. It is not something you always manage, though. And sometimes you think, okay, I've got this sneaky, cunning plan. I'm not going to tell what I'm trying to do here. And then you figure out you messed up later on, and then you go, okay, I guess I have to wear that mistake.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
go that
True.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And it's also
There's
very
like
nice.
a level of intent you can actually give away. Like, okay, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this, but I'm not gonna
yeah,
tell you why I do this, but I'm gonna do this, and that's it,
yeah,
right? So
yeah. But
you actually won five of the games. There were five games. You did one a
yeah,
week.
5 in a row.
Yeah, five in a row. So and you won all five of them. Could you like elaborate on what was like what was your list and what was your tactic behind it?
Well, of course, this was the 8th edition Grey
Hmm.
Knights, so the core tactic around it. The list in a rundown is I had 6 characters, which is a slight deviation from the net list,
Hmm.
as you can say. Then 6 squads of strikes. That's the Grey Knight basic troops
Yep.
with a Psy Cannon. I had 2 big blobs of 10 paladins, which are the core workhorses who do all the heavy lifting in the army.
Yep.
Then my characters were 2 librarians, 1 chaplain, 1 apothecary, and 1 banner guy with the +1 attack aura,
Oh
where I
yeah.
made the
Okay.
warlord with the rerolls to charge aura as well. The reason
Okay.
I took
So you
6 is so I can deep strike 1 more character along with the Grey Knight strikes. So I don't need to deploy any vulnerable units on the table turn 1,
oh
and
that's
I can
very
deep
smart
strike all the
actually. Yeah.
vulnerable units in and come in for hopefully a knockout punch in turn 2 or turn 3. And I try to soften up the enemy so that I open up a spot for those guys to land when I do my deep strikes.
Yeah, so then you can
That's the
score like
basic
all
tactics.
the basics. Like, okay, I can take recon, but I don't have to do a turn one. I'm just gonna drop it in later
Well,
on. Uh,
actually, what you mostly do is not recon, but you do behind enemy lines. Because you come in turn 2. In turn 2, you can start scoring it 2 points if you have 3 units behind enemy lines, and I'm
yep.
dropping 7 units. So I've taken it every game, and I've scored it 4 points because we were playing, of course, the well-known ITC
Yeah, the
missions.
IC Championship
So
missions. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, I've gotten it every game because it's really easy, and I'm always dropping in the enemy lines. And even if there were to be some kind of tougher game, then I would be able to just teleport a guy over or deep strike one single unit there and hide in a building, something like that. It's
So do
really
you,
one that's really fit for this army.
so do you have any like? I mean, you have like a basic tactic. Did you have
Yep.
any of the games where you said, okay, I have to really change my tactics and made a ballsy move to make sure that you got the win, or was it like straight on go to the finish line and let's go?
Well, that comes down to my fourth game versus Jort, which was a Grey Knight face-off. So we both had Grey Knights with almost identical lists. Um, and that one was, I think, my hardest game with respect to all my other opponents because that entire game came down to dice. It's absolutely terrible to play Grey Knights on Grey Knights because everything is based on dice. From turn 2 on, whoever wants to cast any powers, and your powers are crucial for the operation of your entire game in your
Mm-hmm.
army, everything is within range of a deny.
Yeah, there's
You've
no
got a
there's
plus
no
one
way you
cast,
can
they
like.
have a plus one to deny. So it comes down to what do I roll on this power? And you can imagine if you don't get Gate of Infinity off or you don't get Astral Aim off, those are game breaking or game winning powers.
So
So you
you
can't
actually
count on
you
keeping your
dispelled
guys
one of
behind
the
cover.
denied one of the Astral aims, or
No, no, it was the other way around. It was insanely hard because for 2 turns, Yort managed to deny me switching to the tide of doing more smite damages.
okay,
So
yeah,
because I was stuck in because of that, I was stuck in the tide of shadows, the one that gives you basic cover save on your
yep,
guys. I
yeah,
mean that's also nice because your strike marines are saving on a 2+. And Grey Knights on Grey Knights don't have a lot of armor penetration in their shooting without using CP. So that
no,
made them a
yeah,
bit more
yeah,
durable. But still, I wanted to do the double smites, and that's what I meant. The game was so unplannable. I like to think about my turn and my game plan up front, and this was absolutely impossible because you can't count on any power going off. As I've seen, I can't even count on getting my changing the tide power off. So
yep. So you have to
I
choose.
started with my
Yeah,
same my regular game plan, and my regular game plan. I thought at the start of my turn 2 that I absolutely had him and it would be backbreaking, and then everything went straight down the gutter.
okay.
So that
Well,
was my most
that that's very
tough,
good that you
horrible
that you
game.
did- that you like won the game actually in the end, because that's hard. If you get like a step back, it usually is very hard to get like
Well,
the.
partially, but as I said, there were so many moments where the game could have tipped my way or his way. So it wasn't really a matter of I was the superior general because I and that's the fun part in it. You're never too old to learn. I thought, okay, I've got this guy. I'm going to break him. And turned out that I'm not the all-knowing Grey Knight Supermind that I thought I was. So uh, I got schooled in that aspect. Even though I won the game, I learned a lot from that one.
Okay, very good. So that's good for the
You
future,
would,
right? I mean,
it is. Well,
yeah,
yeah, I think the core gameplay of the army is not going to change that much, at least with the point changes tonight. I mean, we're skipping ahead to another topic, but whatever.
yeah, that's no problem. I mean, you won the tournament, and actually you said, okay, this is the hardest matchup for me, and the rest was kind of like, okay, this is my game plan, I'm gonna do it, and your game plan worked,
Yeah,
and this
it
was
was
the only
the
game where
only
your game
one.
plan didn't work. So
It was the only one where the game plan really didn't work. And my final game versus Milos, I just screwed up the game myself because I made a really stupid mistake in my turn 1. I jumped my paladin unit up. I buffed it all up as you do. I was in range of a unit of intercessors and 2 units of these sniper guys, the
yeah,
eliminators.
yeah, the elimination, yeah.
And what does this genius here do? I kill the unit of intercessors, which were one of his 2 engineers, and I kill one unit of the snipers. instead of killing one unit of snipers. And what I also did was move one of my characters to claim an objective, thinking, okay, I've got this guy and he's going to stand behind the unit of paladins, so he can be targeted.
And then the
And
sniper said boom.
that's it's one of those things which happens with playing on TTS. For some reason, I don't have that spatial feeling you have when you see an actual table and you're planning on how far things can move.
Yep.
So in my mind, I did not see for some reason that these guys could move 6 inches to the side and then get line of sight on my character. They shot the crap out of my apothecary. Got 2 6s on 3 hits.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Failed 2 of the saves because they have the weapon profile where they do D3 damage as well.
Yep. And they do extra mortal wounds.
And he did 2 extra mortal wounds as well, and he rolled high on those, so he instantly killed my apothecary, and which is something I will change in future lists, but I didn't get down to doing that actually. That was my guy to use the power to change the tides of the warp. So once again, I played my game being stuck in the tide of doing more shooting damage on psi weapons instead of the tide of doing more smite damage, where I wanted to switch to for my turn 1. So I had to turn that entire game around and start hiding. I came in turn 2 or 3, don't recall. Maybe, oh yeah, I came down in 2 waves, trying to take out as much of his threat units, like the aggressors and things like that, as I could. And everything went my way in that one, making my charges. And I ended up wrapping both of my paladin units were wrapping a single model at the end of my turn,
Well,
so he couldn't shoot me.
that's
That
well
was
played.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that in ninth will disappear because you can't wrap anymore. I mean, at least one unit will be able to escape with CP.
And your characters won't be safe because if you get closer to the character, even or you get
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's tricks around it right now. So
Different character
you
protection. Yeah.
segue a little bit into ninth. I mean, so what do you think is going to change for your list or in your game plan in ninth edition?
Well, points wise, we're not hurt that much, and
No.
because you don't need to have 2 battalions to stay on. You start with 13 in eighth by having 2 battalions command
Yep.
points, and now you go to 12 by going to 1 battalion. So that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, and you get +1 on
Uh,
turn one, so that actually doesn't
yeah.
matter.
How easy you will be able to get your characters in, because this army operates on his characters is partially dependent on who will get that Supreme Commander keyword that they've been hinting at.
Yep.
If that will be only Drago, which is the given, or if it will only also be Grandmaster Voldus, which would be amazing because he would be the automatic include
Yeah, if
in
you
the
could choose
Supreme
between
Command
Drago and
formation.
Voldus, it's like easy take.
You would absolutely take Voldus and make him your warlord because he's actually amazing as that warlord. He'd be a great place to also stack that backup power because he has the warlord where he knows warlord trait where he knows an extra power, and you would give him the as an additional power the one where you can change the tide, so you have a
Yeah, so
spare guy who can
you're not
change
like
the tide for you.
stuck on that one
Yep,
guy. Yeah.
he doesn't have to cast extra powers, but if he needs to, you have that available. That would be a very good fit as well, and then you can wiggle around some points because you're dropping 3 units of strikes, which is roughly the 250 points that most armies are going up in price.
So if I look at my Dark Angel list, I'm losing like I'm not losing that much actually. I'm still I mean Telemos are still amazing, Samuel still amazing, uh,
Yep.
Flyer's still amazing. I mean they went up in points, but it's okay. I think I played list
Yep.
with 2 Nephilims, Samuel and a Telemaster, and it still was like bonkers.
Yep.
So
Do you want me to go over my other 3 games as well? Because I
oh well,
played.
we actually have another Age of Sigmar segment, of course, and
Oh, okay. I don't
I
expect
just
you
wanted
too
to
much.
elaborate on ninth because I mean you
Yep.
play Grey Knight in ninth, but I see in your background that you have your knights over there.
Yeah, that's what your brother highlighted and free-handed and everything for me. So
Yeah,
they're
so
now all decorated with the. I don't know how good that will be on camera.
I think it's good. Yeah, they have a lot of free hands now, right? I can actually later on we'll
Exactly.
show them. We'll show them actually on
Oh,
the.
if you can show them on the stream, that would be amazing as well.
Yeah, then
Because your brother really went out of his way in doing all the highlighting and heat warping on the models, and they're all finely detailed with free hands. It's really amazing. I'm really, really happy with it. So
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can download all the things later on really quick.
that would be
But
good.
do you think that your knights will see a lot of plays?
I don't know, but I'm so happy with how they look that I'm going to take them to another event from the Amsterdam Battle Brothers next year month,
Yeah, so the
which
next
is
week
going to
is
be
that
the
right?
first
Next week
real
or two
life
weeks? Yeah.
event. Yeah, and I just want to play them. I highly doubt that Knights will be good because they are terrible at the objective game, and the objective game is 70% of the missions, as far as we know right now, because we don't have the GT pack that will still come out.
Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be big. The GT back. It's gonna be very
I'm just
big.
gonna run around with big stompy robots and hopefully charging
Yeah.
things and
And finally
crushing
roll
them.
some dice again, right?
Yeah,
I
in
mean
real
that's what
life.
it's all about. Rolling them sixes.
Apologies, somebody was calling me. Could
So
wait.
okay, so for you, like we already discussed ninth a bit. Do you think that the ninth edition will be? I mean, we hear a lot of people saying like it was supposed, not supposed, but they said, oh, it's like 8.5. But if I look at all the rules that's coming out right now, I'm gonna say it's not 8.5. It's not. It's a whole new game, right?
I think it's going to be mainly because the mission style is going to change a lot. They cleaned up a lot of wording.
Yep.
I really like the new style where they have this giant block of text that is, well, hard to comprehend at first glance, and then they have the little bullet points. And in 99% of your games, you'll just use the bullet
Yeah.
points. But if you ever have some specific case with a lot of intricate interactions, you just go, let's read this specific one, and it's really worded a lot clearer. For
Yeah.
example, if you have the movement phase, they now obviously made an effort to define everything. So you have four kinds of movement, and
Yep.
even standing still is a type of movement, advancing is a type of movement, moving is a type of movement, and falling back is a type of movement.
Yep.
So they really went out of their way to make it much more complete and all encompassing, so you don't have any edge cases or situation where you fall in between two rules and you're in limbo. You don't have an answer what's actually going to happen. So
Yep.
I've got a good feeling about the stability, or how do you say that, the clarity of these rules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the missions yet, to be quite fair, but of course I haven't played them, so that gives you very little insight. It looks like it's definitely going to be an addition about having durable units,
Mm-hmm.
because you score your points at the command phase in a lot of these. So
Yep.
you have to not only put a unit on an objective, you have to put a unit on an objective and it has to live through the opponent's turn. So you
Yeah.
can't really
True. Yeah.
take a
Yeah.
unit
True.
of
Yeah.
guardsmen,
You're very right.
move onto objective. Okay, 10 guardsmen are standing there, and then everything kills them, of course. They
Yep.
won't score you points. You can use them to deny the enemy points because they will be there in the enemy's command phase, thus blocking them. They're still useful, but they're not useful for claiming and holding an objective.
Yeah, so
That's going to
it's
really
gonna
be
be a
different.
very different way to play the game, and I think that's actually very good. Like I said before, adapt or die, right? I mean, I think that we can the players that's gonna win the first tournaments are actually those guys who can like, okay, I read the rules book, I understand what I have to do, I have a game plan that's changed, let's go. And I think that it's a good plan. Like you're gonna play a tournament in 2 weeks. Is it okay if like we do the Friday after that to talk about how your games went and see like what's your major difference? Like it's
As
gonna
long as you don't expect me to come back with glorious story of victory, because I'll be
no,
taking
I
my
just
knights.
I wanna hear how all those guys exploded and then you cannot reroll
I
the
fully,
six, right? I
yeah,
mean,
that's going to be big. Oh, I've seen a couple of battle reports online already where people had a tank explode and then lots of guys are in the area around them and they're caught in the explosion. You go,
yes, I
yeah,
want
that's
to
a
reroll
thing
this
now.
six.
Yeah, you can't reroll that. So
Yeah, so you're screwed.
think about when you have something like one of these Space Marine Impulsor, or not the Impulsor, the
The repulsor, yeah,
Repulsors.
yeah,
Yeah, that one. They do D6. Can you
yep,
imagine a bunch of HQs standing around that with their 5 and 4 and
yeah.
6
Oh
wounds?
shit, I rolled a five. Okay,
Yeah, that.
okay.
And I've seen that happen in the battle report already. You go, oh,
Yeah,
this
so I
this
think
might actually be very bad. because you
I
want
think I
your
would
guys
actually take a
in
chaplain
range
with
to buff the tanks.
I think I would actually take a chaplain with the mortal wound 5-ups feel no pains. I
Yeah,
mean,
but then you're taking mortal wound protection and foregoing anything else. But the chaplains are another example. You have a chant right now. If I need a chant for my game plan, like I do with my Grey Knight, sometimes I pick one where I get extra range or the one with the extra AP. Depending on my opponent, those can be crucial. Uh,
yeah.
Now, if I fail that 3-up, I use a command point and I reroll it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that anymore.
Nope.
So a lot more things are really going to depend on the luck of the dice. You can't reroll your 1 if you try to vex something with your Dark Elder stratagem, for example.
Yep.
So
So okay. So on making everything a little bit like compile a little bit. Um, Congratulations again on your win. I'm really hoping
thank you.
to see like the tabletop tactics guys come over for the super major.
Yeah, that would be
Uh,
ace.
let us know when it is, and maybe we can actually get them on the show or something, or maybe get you and them on the show to have like a woohoo celebration. And then let's see if we can get like I think that's the 7th of August. Then you had your tournament. Then we can have like a discussion on how everything went. Is that okay for you?
I will have to check with my boss, also
That's
known as
okay.
my wife.
Well,
But
if
still, I'll
that
get
doesn't
back to
work,
you on
we
that
can
one.
do it later, or we'll see you back on the show. That's for sure. I mean,
But yeah, that's no problem. I'm perfectly willing to come, but I'm not the guy who has his agenda in his brain
okay,
instantly at a recall.
okay,
If I plan all my appointments, I end up with 7 appointments that overlap. So that's
okay.
why I always check with my wife.
Well, Jared, thank you for coming on. I'm gonna switch
You're welcome.
around to the promo again, and then I'm gonna switch to Fabian. So
Okay,
we're gonna talk AOS. Thank you very
have fun
much,
and
and
enjoy talking
see you
AOS.
soon.
Talk to you. Bye.
See ya. Da 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 da. Fabian, how you doing, man?
Yes. Prima met jou?
Yeah, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Finally talking AOS, right?
Yeah.
Let me get 1 second. I'm gonna get my General's Handbook.
Take your time.
Ta-da! And actually, I hoped it was last week, of course, but yeah, that actually didn't happen. So that's too bad. Is it for you? It's your weekend, or do you have to work this weekend?
No, I have to work, unfortunately.
Ah,
Yeah, part of job
so
happens. Deal
tomorrow
with it.
morning, or
Yeah, early morning.
so let's not talk for hours, okay?
Yeah, let's try.
Um, so you've actually we talked a lot this week about the rules pack and everything. At first, I want to start off, of course, with the general handbook because it was quite a big change for a lot of players.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm just gonna go through it real quick, and you just say what you think about it. And then we start off with one thing that I really like, but I don't think we're going to implement it on in our event. That's actually the Anvil of Apotheosis with
Yes.
the character creation. Um, I I read it and I was like, yeah, I love this. I really like it. Um, I think it's very good that you can make your own story now in Age of Sigmar. And I'm wonder would you do you have any conversion that said, okay, I wanna give this guy his own story?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. Not sure if I talked about this last week, but I'm working on a passion project in the shape of Vampire Coast themed Death Army. And I really do feel like this will be the chance for me to go like, well, I have this pirate vampire lord, like now I can give him an actual gun, and for example.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That so you converted like you're done with the army already, or you converting him right now?
oh no, I'm still very much in the process of.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like it was supposed to be like a project like this, and then it went like a project like this, right? Oh,
Yeah,
this sounds cool. Let's do this. And then, oh yeah, I have to convert my whole army. That takes a little more time than I thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have the
That's
same
pretty
problem
much
with my
how it
Dark
went.
Angels, so I know what you mean. I mean, I don't want any gunners in like the land speeders to be seen, because I think if you have like an open land speeder is like one shot away from being dead, from being a dead guy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna close all my land speeders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit more work than I thought. Um, the character creation. Do you actually think it's gonna see play in match play? In like the bigger tournaments around the world. Just simply just go, okay, you can make your own character.
No.
Have you seen any
Uh,
like OP stuff on it? Like is it like, okay, this is not gonna be a good character. If you make this character, it's gonna be invincible, or it's gonna be
well, one of the big things, for example, is that you can just stop at the race, or like whatever heritage you pick for your hero. And then some of the command abilities, for example, the +1 save, it doesn't say that you can't stack that.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so you can have like a 30-point grot hero in your Gloomspite Kids army that will just say like, well, this grot stabber
These
unit
spiders
now
have a
has
2+ save
+4
now.
on
Yeah.
save rolls.
Yep.
Because like Gloomspite Kids, they swim in command points, so it's very easy to actually get to that amount as well.
Yeah, so you can say,
Uh,
okay, this Arachnarok spider suddenly has a 2+ save, and these what is it, the cavalry guys on the spiders also have a 2+ save. Good luck, Chuck. Or the
yeah,
quick manglers or something. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like I and on the flip side, I feel like if you really want to make use of the different abilities and stuff, and really want to make a cool hero, it becomes too expensive to really make a viable character out of it.
Yep.
So I don't think it will see much
Okay.
use in competitive play.
Okay. Well, I actually one thing I opened the book for the first time, and I actually saw this page, like the converted Archon vampire, and I was like, okay, yeah. If this would be on my table playing against me, I would be like amazing. It's like on page 67. It's amazing. This
Yeah,
conversion is
it's
so sick.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of the
But like all the conversions that are around those pages are they're stunning.
yeah, they're very good.
Um,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think AOS has its stunning. Like we saw that the last Grand Tournament, you had the guy with Archon on the big, like the Dragon Fate Days thing, like on the no, on the Realm Gate. Like it was a Realm Gate, and there was
yeah,
moss on it, and on top of that was Archon. I mean, I think it was this
yeah,
big or something. I mean,
yeah. I think it was like, if I had to take a guess, like 40 centimeters tall.
yeah,
Just
easily.
because he put an entire garden around it, like
Yeah,
it was so big.
it was very good. Yeah. So when I go through all the pages, I mean, I can get into the two points later, but I don't think the points will actually have like that much of an impact. We already talked about Slanesh last week. But looking at our event, what is the impact from this book on the rules pack for you? What's the biggest impact?
Oh, that's a really good one. Well, one of the big rules changes that I noticed, at least, was that if you have multiple abilities that ignore damage, you can only pick one to use right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So, for example, like you could get a Nurgle hero to like a 5-up ignore damage, a 5-up ignore damage, a 6-up ignore damage, like stack them on. Now
yep,
you can't do that anymore. Now you got to pick, man.
yeah. You have to pick one. Yeah,
And
that's a big one. Yeah. I played against Stefan with his big wag saying, okay, I ignore it on sixes, I ignore on sixes, I ignore on sixes. I mean,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah,
annoying because
yeah. It was insane. And I do see why people might be a bit disappointed in that change, but it's for the better. I feel like.
but doesn't it actually hit like armies that already have like are not top tier? I mean, only I think the only big problem is like the dwarves, right? The firebenders they also had like a 5 up 6 up, right? Or a 4 up 6 up or something.
That was, I believe, pretty much all their own rules. So they only had one ignore damage.
Oh, okay, so I have like a good save and an ignore damage. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's not an extra one. Hmm. Too bad
no.
because they are nigh unkillable.
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's still one of the better armies if it comes to like defending and stuff. I mean, if they are on an objective, good luck, Chuck. I mean, 20,
Yeah,
20 of those guys. I mean, yeah, what you gonna do against it?
absolutely nothing.
No, because they also have the saves against the mortal wounds, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. They like the Hearthguard, I believe, have a 4 up ignore damage if they have a hero nearby. Like,
yeah,
good
so
luck.
even for me as a Seraphon player, it's like okay, I'm gonna throw d6 mortal wounds on them. Okay, okay, yeah, good. I ignored half of it, so it doesn't really matter. And then they have
Yeah,
2 wounds apiece. Yeah, so okay, so I actually think there are a few players watching from the AOS community. They're wondering like, okay, what's going to be happen in the rules pack? Last rules packs we had, we made a boo boo. We can actually say that we made a boo boo with making secondaries way too important, or the
yeah.
auxiliaries as they're called here. So could you elaborate on what's going to change when it comes to scoring at the end of the battle?
Yeah. So we're going to a major minor victory loss system. In which case it will matter less for the mission itself. So the auxiliaries don't affect the scoring of the mission. It will only really affect scoring um, of the result, basically.
Yeah. So
Um,
so the if we're gonna simply look at points, a major win is 14 points.
yeah,
A minor win is that was 7 points, right?
a minor win was 10.
Or 10 points?
A tie was 7. A minor loss was 4, and a major loss was 0.
Yeah. So and then the auxiliaries actually have like the impact on what the auxiliary has is like okay, every auxiliary you score you get 1 point. So you can get 3 points because you pick 3 auxiliaries. And
Yeah,
every auxiliary you deny, you get an extra point. So you can get
yeah,
6 points for your secondary. Meaning that
yeah,
if you will lose, like have a major loss, you can still lose. Uh, you can still deny him every auxiliary, and you score everything, so you get still 6 points.
yeah,
Which means that's a very good tiebreaker at the end of the tournament to see. Okay, I didn't win the tournament. I had 4 wins and 1 loss. But what does those auxiliaries have? Like they have a very big impact on the actually on the ranking in the end.
yeah. It also stops players from discussing like, well, we're both gonna give each other the 3 auxiliaries, and it's fine. Um, so things become a bit more competitive in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
It also it also just keeps things interesting because you need to do your best every game. Like a minimal win isn't enough. You
So
need to get as much out of your games as you possibly can.
And I actually thought about it. And there was actually something I wanted to discuss with you because I just did it for to make sure we only have 18 auxiliaries. And usually at an event you say, okay, you can only pick each auxiliary once.
Yeah,
But if you only have 18 and you play 5 games, there's only 3 you cannot do. There's actually isn't even possible to get all like make a list where everything is possible.
I have looked through them, and I can open the page just to be sure.
Yeah, it's 109.
I also got a chance to play with them yesterday, actually. Honestly, I think it should be possible to achieve every single one of these, no matter what army you play. Some might be harder than others, but then it becomes a weighing of, am I gonna make use of this auxiliary in my first game? That's gonna be really easy for me to achieve.
Or do I want to
Or
do
am
it
I
in the last game?
when I might need those extra points to get a bit ahead.
Yeah. So that was actually something that I wanted to look into to not make it impossible, because it's very hard to maintain like the like in the end, if you win your game, it doesn't really matter. If you win all your games, you win the event, because we have 64 players max. There's usually always going to be 1 or 2 drops, meaning you go down less than 64, meaning that you will always get a one true victory, true victor, meaning you will have all the like you will be first place, and then the second to about around the 8th place is going to be the spot where like those secondaries actually gonna matter on your ranking. So if you win all your games and you lost only one, but you never make your auxiliaries, yeah, you'll probably be 8th or 9th in the tournament instead of second,
Yeah.
and that would be like then you just have bad auxiliary management, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's going to be one of the big tricks to during such a tournament, like, is going to be that management.
Okay.
And bad management can very easily end up screwing you up.
Yep. And those auxiliary still have an impact on if it gets a tie, right? If you're tied, or is that, do we not take that into account?
No. So we're just gonna do the tie, basically.
Yeah, so it's a tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's a tie, and then both players get 7.
And then maybe 3 for the auxiliaries or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there was one thing that I really wanted to do. That one thing that I really wanted to discuss was painting points, because last time you did all the judging. What do you think of judge? How hard is it to judge painting?
Oh, it's really freaking hard. It's actually really hard. And I would lie if I said I don't get annoyed when I get judged too harshly. and then I was the one being the judge, and then I was like, I kind of get where they're coming from.
It's very hard being like really objective, right?
Yeah, it's because you very easily get into the habit of going by taste, and like what you like, but you really just need to stick with what is required.
Yeah. So for those watching, what we're gonna do is we're gonna simplify the rubrics. Now you could score. They have the same one, Jared. You ask about the rubric. They have this. They had the same one. The AOS is gonna change because having a free hand on a beautifully painted Seraphon army is like, okay, why would you do that? Same with conversions. Sometimes with AOS, you don't have to convert. Look at those new Lumineth guys. I think you don't need to convert those guys. So what we're gonna do is gonna make the rubric like this, that you can actually get points for conversions and for free hands, but they will not be. You have to just the threshold for getting your bonus points is gonna be okay. If you get that threshold, you get a tie, so it's gonna be 7 points, and that's it. You're not gonna get extra if you get like the whole rubric to a max. You just say okay, you go above a certain point, you get your points, done, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the threshold is still going to be okay. Please use squad markings. Base your whole army. Everything has to be painted to a tabletop standard, which is also in the rule spec, so everybody knows what it's going to look like. Make sure that everything seems coherent. So if you loan stuff from a friend, there's going to be a big chance that you'll lose out on points on being non-coherent, even though it's painted perfectly. If your army is not coherent, you lose points because we look at the whole.
Yeah.
And we usually, what I do when I judge is like, okay, what is your baddest painted miniature? And if it's only one out of 100, I'm not going to say, okay, he's painted so badly, I'm going to give you a negative score. But if you have like one badly painted and it's like 10 of those guys in your whole army out of 30 models, it's like, okay, well, these are not that good. Uh, so I'm going to always try to be in the middle, because you're used to like, okay, this is a leader. I'm going to put a lot of time in my leader. We're going to make it awesome, make it bland and everything. And then I'm going to go to a skink and it's like, okay, put some contrast on it and it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to get in the middle. And I can promise you this, and I can promise you to Fabian, next time, me and Fabian are going to do the judging at the same time. So we'll walk next to the table one by one, go all the tables, and then if we're not sure, like, can I give you all the points for this? And I'm like, yeah, you can. So then you have like a more of a communication, and it's we can with two people, it's easier to elaborate to a guy like, okay, you missed out on this and this and this and this, so you won't get your points.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a big plus. Also for the guys in England, they were surprised by our rubric. There were actually some Dutch guys surprised by the hardness of our rubric. It's going to be a little bit easier. So
Yeah. And I have to be completely honest, and I know I'm somewhat speaking from a TO standpoint, but coming from 40K, I was really surprised by how harsh people took the painting rubric on the Age of Sigmar side.
yeah,
because
true.
it's what I'm used to. Like, so it was a really odd experience in that way.
Yeah, I think the AOS scene is of course very young. Simply because AOS is young, and a lot of players, when fantasy stopped, it's like, okay, one part went to the ninth age, one part went to the AOS, and there's a lot of young people in AOS actually. If you simply look at the demographic on those guys, there's actually a very lot of young people, especially when you compare it to ninth age, of course. So there's a lot of guys like, oh, this is my first tournament, or I've only played tournaments in Games Workshop or other small events, and never went to an AO event before. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is serious. I have to do stuff. So I actually think that's very that's a good call from you. And I think people need to get used to stuff like that.
Yeah. I need a moment because I misjudged how much battery my laptop had.
Oh, no,
So
no
I need to
problem.
grab my
I
charger real
I
quick.
can actually talk for the General's Handbook a little bit more. So for those of you watching, what we're going to do for next event is actually we're not going to tell you which battle plans we're going to use, because what we simply do, we make a selection, and I can actually give you the selection because I'm currently working on the rules pack, of course. The selection that we have right now, and I have to open Word because my Word just okay, AOS. Oh, sorry. Word. The word, right? So um, we're gonna have a selection of 11 missions, I think, and 5 of them will be played. We will announce the battle plans which will be played later on, but they're gonna be. I mean, everybody's used to these missions actually, and we're all gonna use the new General Handbook 2020 battle plans. So for those who are listening, it's going to be the better part of valor, shifting objectives, focal points, total commitment, scorched earth, battle for the pass, knife to the heart, places of arcane power, total conquest, blade's edge, and forcing the hand. Those missions will be played. Those could be played. So we have no idea which one it's going to be. We'll just simply this way, you cannot like, okay, we have these 5 missions. These are all made for objective holding. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take guys who don't die. That's what we wanted to evade, to dodge that kind of trickery play, and say, okay, you have to be as all round as possible. And
Yeah.
from what I've heard, that's actually very normal in the AOS community, saying that not everything is like preset.
Yeah, I've talked a lot to some guys from England, like Mark, for example, was at our last tournament. And having the missions predetermined in the rule spec is actually quite uncommon for Age of Sigmar. Because even more so than in 40k, you can really tailor your list to the missions. And now you're just going to have to be that much, like you said, you have to be that much more all round.
Yep. For me, it's actually kind of new to play it like this, and I actually understand why you would do that. Everything will be made clear in rule spec, so there's going to be no surprises for you there. The only surprise that's going to be is which mission you're going to play. And what realm you're going to play in, because when the game starts, you actually both roll off, right? And then the winner gets to choose what realm you'll be playing in. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's usually what happens in a match play game. I
It's
thought I
easiest
sent you.
actually. It's very easy to do like that. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of changes to the realms anyway, so
yeah, it is. But I feel like it is more, and I've seen some rule specs come out as well, and pretty much all of them have the TO determine the realm as well.
oh yeah. So we just
And I
roll pre match. You roll which mission is going to be used and what realm is going to be used.
yeah
So everybody uses the same realm.
yeah
Okay. One more thing about the event. Um, we're actually gonna do terrain day next Sunday. We're gonna make more Age of Sigmar terrain, and um, for the event, usually you have to like email us your army list. There's going to be either it's going to be you can put in the army list yourself. We're actually working on an environment on Pumpan to make sure that happens. Um, and what else is that if you send in your army list, you can actually just copy paste it from the War Scroll Builder, from Warhammer Community, and just put your name on top of it and registration number, and then you're fine. So if so, it's not a lot of push pass as it was before. So I think a lot of people will be happy by that. I hope 40k will actually go that way as well, because it's so like army list checking is the most annoying stuff of the whole event stuff. I'm
yeah
serious. That's I never get why they did not do that already, but that's just my opinion.
yeah. And like even with our first Age of Sigmar event, I took the liberty of checking each list, like all like what was it, 32 of them, and I was like, oh, why? Like halfway through, I was like, please kill me now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Simply because it's hard for people to get to used to a format, so that's okay, no problem. We had that in 40k as well, but um, it's literally copy paste. The only thing you have to do is type it over, and right now you can just copy paste even better. So I don't think that actually going to be a problem anymore. Um, so Fabian, is there anything more you want to tell about about the event? Is there something you want to discuss? Maybe ask the audience about or whatever.
That's actually a good question.
Am I catching you off guard?
A little bit. I was not prepared. God.
So not
I
really, right?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay.
No.
That's no problem. That's no problem at all. Um, I'm gonna finish the rules pack either today or tomorrow because it's gonna be first draft. So I'm gonna show it to everybody. If you have any comments on it, please email us. Don't use Messenger. Don't send me maybe if you know me personally, okay, you can of course send me a WhatsApp, but it's if you mail it, it's always going to be read and discussed by the whole team. And if you only send it to me, I have to like it's easier to just say okay, I'm going to email it to info@tabletopalliance.net. That way you can always make sure that everything gets handled with care. Um, and for those who are wondering what we're going to do in the future for AOS, we are already talking with the Jabbers for next year. For like we do a super major, of course, for 40k. Next year, we're going to see if we can like make sure that we with Corona, it's not really sure yet, but we can do both events. So it's going to be 40k and AOS in the Jabbers in Utrecht. The only
Oh
thing that
yeah,
you'll miss out on is lunch because that's something we cannot guarantee uh, at the Jabbers. So that's going to be too bad.
yeah. It it's a minor setback, I feel like, because I do feel like there's a lot of prestige coming with being allowed to organize an event at Jaarbeurs Utrecht. So
Yeah. Um, some of you may have seen the video on Instagram and what hall we're gonna be playing at. So yeah, for me it's still I cannot like fathom it that that we've grown this big in only 3 years. That we can say that we're one of the biggest tournaments in Western Europe. I mean, for me that's a surprise. I always knew that we could like go to triple digits, but I didn't have any clue that we could go like to 56 on 40k. And I actually think that if we keep growing like this, AOS is going to hit the 100 in maybe a year as well.
yeah,
And that would be looking at the community 1 year ago. For me, for me, that's a surprise. I don't know if
yeah.
that's for you. Is that's
Oh, yeah,
surprising as well?
definitely. Like our very first Age of Sigmar tournament, we had like 14 players. We started with 16, two of them fell off. We ended up with 14. To be able to, with the progress we're making, we're even just the 60 or 46 that we 64. My bad.
64, yeah.
Uh, that we're
Hoping
trying
to
to
get.
achieve
We're not there
already
yet, but we
is
hope to get like
so
64.
used.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
So, Fabian, I think we can actually say that we went through what we're going to change. People can wait on the rules pack for this weekend. Let's say this weekend because you never know what's going to happen tonight, tomorrow, whatever. We also have like a normal day job life. Sometimes that stuff happens that you cannot, that you. So let's just say I'm going to make sure that the draft is going to be online either tomorrow or Sunday. Everyone can see what's going to change for this grand tournament, what change is going to be for the rubrics, and how scoring will be done. And let's hope to get like double in the amount that we have now. We have 21 now. Let's get to 4. If I can get to 40, I'm like I mean a grand tournament of 40 people is also very awesome.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say? Like say goodbye to people? Want to thank your mama? Want to I don't know do something like that or?
Well, to get a little sentiment, I really do want to thank the community, both 40k and Age of Sigmar, because let's be honest, if it wasn't for 40k, Age of Sigmar wouldn't have had a chance to shine as much either.
And the other way around as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's they work well together. While before Age of Sigmar came, Age of Sigmar and 40k were like this far apart, and right now they're getting closer to each other. You see the rules? There are a lot of similar rules. So I think we should be happy with both communities.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Fabian, let's talk in the future. Let's see if we can if final rules back. If we have more details, maybe we can do like the game that we play on a Friday night. Maybe you can play one game over here with me, and then I'm gonna just say CJ is gonna be the host or something. It's gonna be we'll invite you over again, and for all you guys playing AOS, make sure to get all those guys to our events. Last time for Van der Valk, make sure they enjoy spare ribs, kibbeling, salads, fries, whatever, and rolling some freaking dice in one of the best tournaments in Holland. Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Fabian. I'm gonna do a little more work in progress on these guys, and then I'm gonna call it a night as well. So
Yeah,
I'll speak to you later. I'll send you the draft tomorrow, and then we'll discuss and make sure that the rules pack is ace. Okay?
sure thing.
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna go to the promo again, and then I'll see you guys in a minute. See ya. Now you can. Haha, I'm back. So what I was saying is that it's very good to have all you guys here. I think it's for me. I noticed that it's getting tiring to do like uh, two of these back to back two interviews. So let's see if we can do that again in the future. Uh, can you hear me now, Melvin? I mean, I don't know why you should hear me at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, so what I want to do is show you guys. First, I'm going to show you the work in progress on what we have, and after that, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so what we see here is the knights that my brother Peter actually detailed for Gerard. So as you can see, there's a lot of things going on over there in the picture. Let me get. Um, you can see the free hands on top of here a little bit. This actually doesn't have a lot of free hands, but you can see it here in the back. You can see the cane lives. You can actually see the next one. Let's see. Okay, now I can go to the next one. Give me a sec. Okay, I think I won't actually. Give me 1 second. I have to work on this a little bit. Technical issues here, guys. Uh-huh. This one over here. Ah, yes. Okay, there we go. Okay. So and you can see it here indeed, like Jared says, on the shoulder. You see a few pictures as well, like free hands. And I can actually zoom in on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom. You can see a free hand over here. You can see a lot of OSL over here, free hand over here. And what you can see is the nod theme from Command and Conquer is coming back really, really big. So it's a lot of things from Command and Conquer, um, which are like the colors black, red, and then the white to make it like a better one. So I really like these guys. So this is what my brother for Gerard. Next is going to be the work in progress from Daniel. Daniel Konjevic actually was painting this for our uh, into the ninth painting competition. He actually finished it almost finished it, so that's going to be for the show for next week. You're going to see all the finished products. But as you can see, there's already a lot of blending going on. I really like how this actually looks like fur. A lot of detail on the sword as well. So Daniel actually, for me, for what I've seen, has actually a big chance of winning the painting competition. This was done by Agnes. She showed us that the Lumineth Lords um, have like the most fickle weapons there are. I think that's gonna break really fast. I hope not, of course, but there's a big chance that those tips will break easily. And what you can see here is the new Necron uh, character, all next to two other models, and I actually have another one of those. Let's see where they are. Whoop. Like the models from Wowzer is looking like this at the moment. So, oh, woo! So already saw a little bit. Next week we're gonna do the work in progress a little bit better because it's very hard to make a good thing out of it. But as you can see, we have a lot of guys painting a lot. This is actually what Danny did in Hong Kong. This is his work in progress. He actually finished it already. And those pictures will be shown later as well. So in the next week. Dennis's Mythic Blight Haulers, which actually can see a lot of play now, I think, because they ignore their heavy, moving and heavy, and they're actually very tough to kill. With the new codex, I think they actually have a place in most Death Guard lists actually. Then next to that is the character for Stefan. Stefan is working on his orcs, and as you can see, he has a very unique way of painting his orcs. He actually sprays them brown, and then with a really like a skin tony green, he makes it like this, and then you can see all the muscles very well. So I think this is he always paints it like this, and I'm always surprised by how well it works. It gives so much depth to a model that by giving it another primer than you're used to. So I'm working with brown, of course, with the green, of course, with my Dark Angels, and that actually has the same effect on red, that you can actually make it a little bit more have more depth than you usually have. So I'm very excited for the end result. And these two are actually from one of our biggest patrons from Barry, Ricardo Barrientos, the Giant from the Giant, and he's working on the Seraphon. I really love the yellow. The yellow gives it like its own theme. I think it actually is contrast, but that doesn't matter because the armor has so much detail that it doesn't pull up and make it like ugly, and it just works. The yellow works so well. Like it's not golden but it's almost gold. I mean, that's very good. And this was actually his work in progress for the painting competition. It actually is already finished. And same with the rest of it. You will see them next Friday. You're gonna see what it's gonna be. Um, and the last three pictures are actually for those viewing right now is actually an extra gimmick for everyone. Is the new terrain we're working on. As you know, we have the ruins, which are like a box in a box in a box in a box. Like works very well. We're actually doing that for the Necrons as well, especially fitting for ninth, of course. And these are actually some designs CJ is working on and a work in progress. So as you can see, we have like walls with the Necron logos on them, and they actually are ruins, so they will probably be a bit more open than our other ruins, simply because we think that ninth edition actually asked for this kind of terrain. Um, Technically, it would look like this. Then the ruins, of course, has to be added like this. And actually, give me one sec. I'm gonna get one uh, like preview on how it would look if it is printed, like if it's lasered. Give me one second. It's like uh, uh, Okay, now let's see if it works. Hope so. Can I just refresh them? No. Okay. So it's too bad. Uh, uh, one more sec. This is one thing that I have to get used to though. So I'm sorry guys for the technical issues. It sometimes just does not do what I want to do. So it takes a little getting used to. There you go. So this is what it's going to look like, and then there's going to be a few holes in it, and of course a lot of detail. So let's get back to the other screen, to the talk show screen, and I actually want to thank all you guys for watching. I hope this is going to be like a thing that you're waiting on a Friday night if you're free. I mean, we know that a Friday night is always hard to get like a lot of people watching, but as you know, we also post it on YouTube later on. And from next week, we're gonna do a little bit of gaming as well. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for commenting. I want to thank Gerard again and Fabian for coming onto the show. And if you have any questions, if you want to do anything, if you want to come to the show and talk about something because you organize something, because you want to show something, no problem. Just hit us up. Um, if you want to be part of the community in a whole, please join our Patreon. Our Patreon is patreon.com/linesopen. You can get into our Discord server for as little as €2 a month. Um, some of the guys online right now actually do a little bit more. They get discounts on tickets, they get early bird tickets, they get discount on terrain. So there's a lot of tiers which can help you get like be part of the big community that we are. Make sure to follow all our um, social media. So check Instagram, check Facebook, follow us on Twitter, uh, subscribe to YouTube and everything. It will mean a lot to us, and this way we can help the community grow. Uh, yep, yeah. Discord access also allows access to all the TTS events, to our painting competition, because this is not going to be the only one. Discord actually has a lot of like help. We're actually going to do a Dungeons and Dragons campaign later on, so uh, it's all fun, all fun. Thank you guys for watching. Next week we're going to have the online tournament, online painting tournament. We're going to have a game. We're going to talk AOS again. We're going to talk 40k again. And maybe if we get the box right then and there, maybe we can do a little unboxing for 9th edition. So thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next week, and make sure to like us, to follow us, do everything that you want. Thank you very much for watching.